right, hello everyone. Welcome to your restorative practice. Today we're going to do a minimum amount of shapes and take a little bit longer in our holds, as most restorative practices tend to go. And we're going to start off with just a little bit of warming movement for the spine, in particular hips, the whole length of the spine, shoulders and neck, just to prepare the body for those longer holds. So I'd like you to, number one, have some wall space. And I'm going to venture to guess that even if you don't have wall space readily available, you most likely are in a space with a door that can close, such as that. That could be your wall. If that's not possible, you could use something like a chair. We've talked about that before. Just make sure that the chair is not going to slip around on you. And then something comfortable to sit on to start. And of course, the props like cushions and blankets and all of those comfy cozies that we use in our restorative practice. So you can sit however you're comfortable. Again, it could be a chair. You don't have to sit cross-legged. Just take a few moments to actually get comfortable in your seat. Maybe kind of move around, see if you can notice right sit bone, left sit bone, rooting down into whatever it is you're sitting on, and then start to feel the length of the spine growing up and out of your seat as you move forward, backward, side to side a little bit. And then if you haven't already, just placing the hands on the thighs somewhere, a little soft bend in the elbows, shrug the shoulders up, and then let them drop down your back. Let's take a deep breath in. Maybe you close your eyes if you like. And a deep breath out. And we'll keep that nice steady rhythm of breath flowing throughout our practice as we start to add movement in. First, we'll take the chin into the chest, opening up the back of the shoulder blades, back of the neck. And then we'll lift the chin up towards the ceiling. Any amount, doesn't have to be a big, huge opening. Just be mindful of your shoulders, your neck as you lift the chin, open the throat. And then exhale, tucking the chin in towards the chest. And just do this a few times on your own with your breath. Maybe it's the inhale that opens the throat and the exhale that closes the throat. Twice more like that. We'll come back to a neutral neck. So the chin, think about it being parallel with the floor. We'll start to draw circles. So first right ear to right shoulder, and then chin again down towards the chest. And left ear, left shoulder, chin open towards the ceiling. And so you're just continuing drawing a circle in this direction. Make sure you're breathing as you do this. One more circle all the way around. And then chin back to parallel with the floor. Big breath in. Big breath out. I'll just take it in the opposite direction. So left ear to left shoulder first. Then chin to the chest. Then right ear, right shoulder. And then chin towards the ceiling. And continue in that direction. And notice your breath here. One more circle all the way around. And chin again comes to parallel with the floor. We'll take a big breath in, sweep the arms out and up, reach up overhead. And then exhaling, left hand off to the side of your mat, right arm's reaching overhead, and you're just bending into the side waist. Finding space through the right side, keep that right hip on whatever it is you're sitting on. Pressing into that left hand, let it pull you all the way back up through center. Just change sides here. So right palm down, left arm sweeping overhead. Keep that left hip pinned down. Inhale up through center. This time we'll add on a twist. So these left fingertips will plant behind you, right hand to outer left thigh as you rotate the torso towards your left hip. Pause here, breathe. Begin to unwind. Both arms sweep up, reach up. And then we'll exhale, we'll take the right hand behind us like a little kickstand, left hand to outer right thigh. You're rotating the torso, the chest over towards the right hip. Keep the shoulders relaxed, drawing away from the ears as you do this. Pause here and breathe. We'll start to unwind. And then drawing the hands to the knees. And if you are sitting cross-legged, if you want to switch out your front shin for the other one, you might just change up the seat a little bit. Hands towards the knees. We'll start to rotate the torso forward and backwards. Seated cat-cow. And then we'll draw circles with the shoulders. So choosing any direction you want to go in. Big, big circle. One more time all the way around in the direction you're currently going in. And then pausing through center, sitting up nice and tall with that breath in. And then exhaling, going the opposite direction. So our physical restorative yoga practice will consist of both a back bend or back bends and a forward fold or hip hinge. And again, those will be minimal shapes. We'll take longer holds. And so we've prepared the spine, the hips, the torso, the shoulders, the neck for those longer holds with that prep in breathing and moving the body a little bit. Gets the blood flowing, gets the circulation going. So first shape we will utilize that wall. This will be our forward fold. It's going to be legs up the wall, which is a forward fold because you are bending at the front hip flexors. So technically it is a forward fold. So scoot your sits bones up to whatever you're going to use as your wall or your chair. I recommend having a blanket or a pillow close by because you can add that in. Just start out by getting into fetal position with your sits bones at the wall. And then rolling all the way onto your back. And take a moment here to adjust so that both sits bones feel like they're equidistant, either pressing into the wall or equidistant away from the wall. Sometimes hamstring and low back tightness don't allow us to get our sits bones all the way in contact with the wall. If you're using a chair, you can just simply drape the back of the calves on top of the chair. See if you can get the backs of the knees in contact with the seat of the chair. And then roll the shoulder blades down the back. Slightly tilt the chin in just to give your neck, a little bit of a lengthening. And then you might play with the feet. Maybe you just kind of rotate the toes towards the face and move the toes out and point the toes up towards the ceiling. Just kind of feeling this out with your legs. So we're going to stay here like this without any of our blankets, without any of our cushions for the next 3 minutes, and then I'll give you the option to add on to this shape. Just get really comfortable here, whatever you'd like with your arms. Maybe you stretch them out wide. You can broaden across the chest. You could bend your elbows close into the side ribs. You could place your hands somewhere on the body. Just whatever feels good. And sometimes that means exploring, doing different things and kind of wiggling around until you find that Goldilocks, this is just right effect. If you'd like, you can close the eyes if you haven't done so already. Come back to that deep breath. Keep relaxing the jaw and the muscles of the face. Relax the neck and the throat. Relax the shoulders and the chest. In the realm of the subtle body, which is kind of like the energetic body, the subtle body is something we can't really see, but something we can feel. So if you think about how energetic you are, if you feel tired, if you feel really wide awake, if you feel focused, if you feel anxious, all of that relates to subtle body. Forward folds in general have a very soothing, calming effect on the subtle body. So sometimes they have a bit of a reputation for making you feel sleepy. Certainly, if you're already sleepy, it could enhance that feeling. And rather than fighting it, perhaps just allow yourself to rest here for these next few minutes. So if you're comfortable where you are, feel free to stay. Here's the option to add on to this shape. And has the complexity of adding a bit of a back bend into your forward fold, which I know sounds kind of odd, but you'll see what I mean. So if you want, you can watch me, or you could just ignore and stay as you are. I'm going to bend my knees, press my feet into the wall, and allow that to lift my hips up. And then I'm sliding whatever prop I've chosen underneath my pelvis and my low back. And so now my hips, my low back are lifted just slightly above my heart, which creates a little bit of a back bend in the thoracic spine. That's basically like your upper back rib cage area. It's very subtle, it's not huge. But also we're still in a forward fold because we're still hinging at the hips, the frontal hip points. So now your body is in essence in a bit of an inversion. Anytime the hips are higher than the heart, we get the effects of inversions. Certainly with legs up the wall or feet above the heart, we get the effect of reversing the flow of blood, all of the blood rushing and nourishing into vital organs of the body. And it's normal for the feet to tingle. If that's happening for you, you can always bend the knees, let the thighs rest in towards the belly. And then you can re-extend your legs if you desire, when you desire. So it's just an option, if you get into that with that support underneath the pelvis and you don't like it, feel free to remove it. Nice deep breaths here. We have a few more minutes in this shape. Let's take about 6 to 8 more breaths in the shape you're currently in. And one more breath here. And if you did take a prop underneath the low back, press into your feet and move that out of the way. And then set the back into the same plane as the shoulders. If your legs are still extended up the wall, start to bend the knees. Let the thighs rest in towards the belly. Take a few breaths here, pause. Then we'll roll off to a side. We'll find fetal position for about 3 breaths. Take your time with that. Whichever side you choose, fetal position. And then we'll press into the hands, sit up. We're going to come away from the wall now for the rest of our practice. And we're going to work into those gentle back bends. And so what you'll need is either a stack of blankets or a cushion or two, just depending on how much of a back bend you want to create. That's going to go towards the top of your mat. And I also recommend having a folded blanket, or if you have blocks at home, you could use a block, something to support the back of the head. It's an option. You don't have to use it, but I find it's nice so that the neck doesn't get really cranked. And excuse me, kitty, I need my blanket. All right, so I'm going to use my blanket. My cat will let me. So I'm just folding it here. This is where my head's going to go at the top of the mat. I'm leaving some space for the top of my shoulders in between my cushion, my mat, and my blanket. So I'm targeting the upper back here, thoracic spine. So I'm laying down on this, my armpit right at the top of that cushion, top of the shoulder blades on the mat, back of the head. Maybe you're supporting it with another prop like a blanket or even another pillow. And so the idea here is that we get to stretch the arms out, or maybe you take your arms into a cactus shape, but they're not resting on the pillow. They're in that valley in between. You can stretch your legs out long. Sometimes that can be pretty intense on the low back. So if you prefer, you could always bend your knees, plant your feet, and let your knees draw in towards one another. Just kind of, again, exploring. Make sure you're comfortable. We're going to be here for 5 minutes. A little bit less than 5 minutes. So rib cage is nice and open, heart and lungs nice and open here. Big full belly breaths if you can. Relax the jaw, the face, soften the throat and the neck. And the subtle body realm back bends have the opposite effect as forward folds. They have a reputation of being energizing, creating the quality of focus and attention in the body. And so I like the blend of forward folds and back bends for a midday energy balancing practice. We combine feelings of calm and rest with feelings of focus and energy. We'll take about 6 to 8 more breaths here. Take your time. I'm going to start to, if your legs are extended, bend the knees and plant the feet. We'll start to roll off to a side, fetal position. And then pressing into the hands, just so we can move this prop out of the way so that the thoracic spine can start to release down into the mat without being lifted. So I placed my cushion underneath the backs of the knees, and then I just laid down on my back, starting to settle in for Shavasana. We'll take 1 minute in Shavasana. However you like to spend that time, I recommend something very neutral, very easy, very passive. Deep breath in through the nose. Maybe it's an open mouth exhale. And the back teeth part and the tongue widens at the base of the mouth. The whole jaw softens and releases. All the muscles of the face relax. If you have more time to spare in your day, please feel free to stay in Shavasana longer. If you need to move on, you can start to awaken the body, gentle movement, fingertips, toes, head moves side to side, and stretch the arms overhead and breathe into the full length of the body. And transitioning off to a side, passing through fetal position one last time. Coming back to that upright seat, could be the same seat you took at the beginning of class. And we'll have our 3 rounds of Brahmari breath. The inhale through the nose, the exhale is the hum at the back of the throat with the lips just very gently sealed. Resting your hands anywhere on your body that feels good. Sitting up nice and tall. Neutral breath, inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale to begin 3 rounds. Last round, breathing in. Letting it go, returning to that neutral breath. Maybe you take your hands and stack them flat against the heart. Bowing the chin into the chest. Taking a moment here to honor your practice and your effort with reverence and gratitude. May you remember that you will always be okay. May you find a light that guides you and keeps you safe. May you have hope, help, and happiness along the way. Namaste. All right, everyone. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed your practice. Take care of yourselves and come back again soon.